In today's lecture, we will study the reflection through spherical mirrors. What is a spherical mirror? Spherical mirrors are those mirrors which are the part of a spherical mirror. Its reflectory surface is actually cut out from a mirror which is spherical in shape, as this. If this part is polished and this interior surface is reflectory surface, then such mirror is called concave mirror. And if we have similar shape but the interior part as the polished part and the bulged out surface, that is this surface, is reflectory surface, then we have the convex mirror. So spherical mirror can be of two types. One is concave and other is convex. In concave mirror, this interior surface is the shiny or the reflectory surface, and in this convex mirror, this bulged out surface is the reflectory or the shiny surface. So we have the two types of spherical mirrors. Now let us study some technological terms, or we can say the terminology related to the spherical mirrors. As you know, the ball you play with, the tennis ball, the rubber ball, the cricket ball, is actually the form of a sphere. And as in 2D, two-dimensional geometry, you have the circle, which is defined as the locus of the point which is remained at a constant distance from a fixed point in a 2D space is called circle. Similarly, in 3D geometry, if we define the sphere, we will say that it is the locus of a point which remains at a fixed distance from a fixed point in the 3D space. This fixed point is called center of the sphere. This distance, constant distance from the fixed point and to the locus of the point, is called radius of the sphere. And also we have this curvature, the surface which is in the form of a sphere. So let's study how we can use this mathematical or geometrical concept over the spherical mirrors. So this is the concave mirror, which is actually cutted from a sphere, or we can say the spherical mirror. This sphere should have a center, and this center is called center of curvature for the concave mirror. Now we have this surface as the curved one, and this curved one surface is spherical, and let's name this concave mirror as MM dash, and this MM dash surface is actually the part of the sphere whose center of curvature can be located by the use of the original sphere, and it is C. Now this distance, or we can say the constant distance from the center of curvature to the surface of the mirror, is denoted by R, and R is the radius of curvature. It is the radius of the sphere from which the concave mirror has been cutted out. So let's study the another thing. This uppermost point M and this lowermost point M dash. If we take the distance between them, we'll say it aperture. It is simply the diameter of the circle which can be obtained by placing the mirror from its base, the side, on the paper. Now, let's see the another things which are focus and the focal length. We see that concave mirror actually behaves like the converging mirror. If this is the ray which is incidenting on this concave refractory surface and we have another ray which is also incidenting on this concave mirror, then what will happen to these parallel rays which are falling on the mirror? It will be converged at a point which lies on a fixed axis which is called principal axis. This principal axis is obtained by joining these 2 points. One is C, center of curvature, and one is pole, which is denoted by P. So here P is the pole of the mirror. Here we have mirror mm dash, which is concave in nature. This P point is specific, as such it is the centermost point of the concave mirror. The line joining P and C, that is pole and the center of curvature, is called principal axis. Now, as we were talking about the focus of the concave mirror, we were studying the nature of the concave mirror. Concave mirror is converging as it converges the parallel rays coming and incidenting on it after reflection at a point which is called focus. If these parallel rays are also parallel to the principal axis, then this point, say F, is called principal focus. The distance from the pole, that is this point, and the focus is called focal length of the concave mirror, and it is obtained by getting the converging point of these parallel rays which also remains parallel to the principal axis. For the convex mirror, we know that the polished surface is this interior surface and the shiny surface is the bulged out one. For this, we also have a sphere from which it is cutted out. Its center C is the center of curvature for the convex mirror. The centermost point is the pole of the convex mirror. The radius of the sphere, or the distance between P and C, is radius of curvature for the convex mirror. And as it is a diverging mirror, that is, if we have the principal axis, of this convex surface and we have the paraxial rays incidenting on the convex mirror, then it will diverge these incidenting rays. We'll say that these reflected rays will never meet again as they are diverged. But at the same time, we get that if we extend these rays in this back part, then possibly they'll meet at a point which is called focus of the convex mirror, which is actually a virtual point. So, the distance between the pole and the focus, that is PF distance, is called focal length of the convex mirror. Now, it is very obvious that the focus of concave mirror and the focus of convex mirror can be differentiated as the parallel beam of light after reflection from a concave mirror converges at a point in front of the mirror. This point F is the focus of a concave mirror, and it is real. Now, if we see the focus of convex mirror, then this is the point which is obtained by the reflection of the parallel beam of light incidenting on the surface of the convex mirror, which diverges. But if we produce them backward, then the rays will appear to meet at a point, and that point will be the focus. So, here the terminology ends for the spherical mirror.